I'd like to talk about how women react to MGTOW as well as what one woman publicly said about MGTOW. And how I responded to her recently. Some thoughts on the MGTOW culture were brought to us from a woman named Leslie Fetch. This is what Leslie had to say after watching some of my videos. These videos are bizarre, to say the least. I stumbled upon this video by accident and had never heard of MGTOW before. They're sexist but misinformed rather than naive. Do men who supported Nicolas Castro believes in the complete segregation of the sexes? Do you believe that women hold all the power in the world? People who believe that often gives me the impression that they are completely illogical. And how much of a part do you believe males have in the gender dynamics that are messed up? How do you account for all of the powerful and wealthy men who hold high-ranking positions in government and business and who have accumulated enormous amounts of wealth? When we look beyond the veil, we see that women deliberately complicate things so that men like us will have to continue to jump through feminine hoops for the rest of our lives. This is done so that we are compelled to adhere to the expectations that women have of women. You are nothing more than a tyrant if you refer to our liberation as being sexist, considering that we are now free from your oppression. This is why you're interested, because we're being honest, sensible, and unaffected by what we know many women have affected our behavior. By only permitting us to have sexual encounters when we behave in a way that the feminine collective thought to be acceptable. Therefore you're interested because we're being honest, sensible, and unaffected by what we know many women have affected our behavior, by only permitting us to have sexual encounters when we behave in a way that the feminine collective thought to be acceptable. If we take you to a dinner party or buy you that pocketbook or flowers you've always wanted, you often repay us with your affection, love, and physical closeness. What are your options if we don't take you to a dinner party or buy you flowers or a pocketbook? Unless, of course, this is feminine nature. It's no longer a mystery to us, and many of us have figured it out. Real men are feared by society because real men live their lives for themselves without looking back with regret. Residents of Midtown believe that society keeps us unhappy and dissatisfied to make us more productive. But the truth is that when we're pleased, we're even more productive, even though society is afraid of our happiness. At the very least, you believe that when it comes to intercourse with women, guys are more than just violent, and some men are rough in bed. Which some women enjoy in bed, even though some men can be slackers and pushovers. Residents of Midtown also have the opinion that it is a question of personal preference, even though there are women who are vehemently opposed to it. You also argue that gender stereotypes and fundamental beliefs can be detrimental to the health of both men and women. How women connect is more communal than how men communicate with one another. This is one of the reasons why males, as a whole, are more inclined to fall prey to stereotypical cliches. I agree that generalizations can be harmful in certain contexts. However, since most men are unaware of female gynocentrism, they require generalized knowledge to understand the concepts. Men, on the other hand, are more introverted and individualistic, which is why our perspectives on the world tend to be more varied. I also talk about specific ladies by adding personal experiences that I've had and that other men in my life have had. And I discuss both the positive and negative aspects of your serious concerns regarding MGTOW. To begin, you question whether or not we endorse coercion. And I talk about specific ladies by adding personal experiences that I've had and that other men in my life have had. We don't believe in complete gender segregation, and many of us are content to date and have vaginal intercourse with women on occasion. However, we won't give up our lives or change our behavior to compensate for some of the outrageous demands that women can make on us. And we genuinely believe that women have all the power because they make up the majority of voters. Despite this, we won't give up our lives or change our behavior to compensate for some of the outrageous demands that women can make on us. In current society, the distribution of roles and responsibilities between men and women is not entirely equal. No one, including other males, other than men, women, or children, has any affection for a man who is whipped, and no one enjoys the company of skimpy men. So when men act like manganas and white knights and try to help women and give them what they want, they are wreaking devastation for the rest of us. Men are reckless for being nice, and they erect towers over men who are not kind. I train myself to analyze the behavior of women logically rather than responding emotionally to what I saw. You may also wonder why there are a disproportionate number of men occupying high-ranking positions in both business and politics. The answer to that question is straightforward: the majority of the time, women are the ones in charge of managing and redistributing the money and creativity that is generated by males. Since men are the ones who invent everything, there is no reason why they should make the money and, in essence, hold the power. By saying this, You are practically advocating that men should shrug off their responsibilities, and Hubo was established by two persons. Whereas Facebook was first developed by a single individual. A guy was the one who constructed the steam engine. The majority of the time, men who accumulate wealth and power do so to court and keep the company of beautiful women. This is because most men want to be with attractive women. Both wealth and power can be seen as means to an end. If you want to be a communist, Leslie, you should go live in Cuba or North Korea. In those countries, men give up their authority because when they lose the ability to accumulate wealth and power, they stop innovating and caring about anything. Working for free is a fruitless endeavor. You also ask me if I believe in any kind of patriarchy. And my response to that is that patriarchy is a phrase that is used to suppress women. I wish I could take advantage of the benefits of being a woman. But in a way I never can, because I'm never able to put what my mother gave me to use. Try to do everything in your life without any assistance and see how it goes. Better yet, do everything for yourself and need the occasional man here and there. Do everything for yourself, and when several ladies ask me for favors, I always warn them that it will cost them money. As a result, they frequently disperse and flee as quickly as possible. Try to do. We are no longer obligated to be providers and can do whatever we want to consider as the Men's Liberation Society, or at the very least the Men's Liberation Society. Male emancipation is about men going their way. For the first time in history, we are no longer obligated to be providers. Male emancipation is about men going their way. Cheers to Leslie and everyone else, and thank you for taking the number of red tablets that were prescribed to you every day. I hope that the remainder of the day goes wonderfully for every one of you.